removed.
Oh, shit. Hey guys, and welcome to Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
I'm Sarah Meadows.
Good start. Welcome to the house. Let's try that one more time. I'm Will.
I'm Sarah. I'm Katie. I'm Melissa.
And I'm Kevin.
And Ryan is running the show for us. Thanks, Ryan. Today we thought we'd try something a little bit different. We just did a Tantrum Talks on Thursday where we talked about a lot of games.
Yep.
Today we thought we'd actually play a couple games and then intersperse that with a bunch of talking as well.
Yes.
We'd love to hear from you guys as well. And we have a giveaway that we're doing. Kevin, tell us a little bit about that.
So in front of Will, you see some game shields. They are used in many different games. This is actually currently on Kickstarter from Studios. And I'm going to bring up their Kickstarter right now. Coyote Design, I'm sorry. It's Kaiyoot. It's almost like a coyote, like a coyote. Anyway, so you can check out their game shield. I think if you just type in game shield in Kickstarter, you'll find it. And they have so many different colors. We're actually giving away a set of 8 right now live on our show. So the way you do that is in the comments, tell us what your favorite game is that uses a game shield. So, and then we will randomly pick a winner at the end of this video. But we also like to hear from you. Tell us how things are going, what you've been playing, and we'll be playing some games telling you what's been on our table. So, what's on our table today?
A bunch of different stuff. Let's do our cool little intro video to give people a little bit more time to find the video and jump online. And then we'll get playing, and then we'll hop back and forth.
Yeah, gives them time to comment about their favorite game using a shield, so they are entered in to win.
All right, see you in a second.
All right, so welcome to the show. We've got a couple things on the table. Sarah's going to jump us into one. What are we starting with?
We're going to start with the game of Wolf from Gray Matter Games.
Boy, it's like we had a theme this morning with Coyote, Shields, and Wolf.
This is a trivia party game, but if you don't know your trivia very well, you can ask for help in deciding who you want to be on your team and play as a wolf pack instead of by yourself. All right, so I will let one person go first.
Okay.
Will,
Will.
would
Oh,
you like to
lucky
go
me.
first? I will give you the topic, and you can decide if you would like to answer the questions by yourself,
The lone wolf.
and the rest of us will be a pack to answer the
goodness.
questions.
Okay, that doesn't sound like a good
Or you can ask somebody to join you.
I'll probably guess I'm going to do that. Do I have to do it in advance, or do I get to know the question?
You get to
and
know
the
the
topic?
question. First, I think.
The topic is classic board games.
Oh, shoot. I feel like I better know this. What happens? So, whoever goes on my team gets a point, and I don't want anybody else to get points, right?
No. You will both get points
Yeah.
for everything that you answer. The other team will also get
All right,
points.
Kevin.
Oh no!
Is he allowed to withdraw if he doesn't
All right.
want to be on my team?
Being well.
All right.
Yeah.
While we're getting this ready, we have some people from Italy watching.
What's up,
Hello,
guys?
Giovanni.
Oh, cool.
Glad that you are watching with us. And we've got some other people on here. Actually, Coyote Designs is watching with us. Well, we do want to make your I hope your Kickstarter is successful. So they're super close. So hopefully we can help push that funding over. But let's get started with classic board games.
All right.
So we're writing multiple. Do we have
Yes.
a time limit?
No.
Okay, good.
All right, so the question is, you're supposed to name the board game based on its tagline.
Oh, this may be harder than I thought.
All right,
Okay.
so I did not look at the answers on this. I will
Okay.
also be playing on the
Okay,
team with the
good
girls.
idea.
Okay.
All right,
They
the
can
first
make
one
mistakes.
is,
Okay, they can
The
play at
first-
home
You're
too.
also writing. Okay, yeah, play it
Yes,
all. Let us know
we're-
how many you get right.
yes, you can play along for this question.
Do you beat the wolf packs?
There are 5 taglines we're guessing.
All right,
The
first
first tagline is the original trivia game.
Yes.
Is there one before this one?
No. But you spelled it wrong.
S. There.
No.
No, none of that at the end.
It's close.
All right.
All right.
Did you get your answer too? All
Bad
right.
when you spell that one wrong.
All right, number 2, the game of global domination.
Yeah, we are on it today. We are
2
on
down.
it.
Did you get it right?
I don't know. Let's see if people are.
Give us the answer. You chose. I choose you as my wolf pack.
That's right.
All right, number 3, the game that ties you up in knots.
Yes.
I feel like if we miss any of these, we should be fired. I say that now. The next question is like super hard.
Unless someone else has a different guess.
Hello from New York, John. Thanks for joining us. We are playing the game of Wolf, and play along with us.
And there's a bunch more to come. So hang
number,
on.
All right.
number 4.
Number 4, the game of unspeakable fun.
Uh-oh. Yep. This.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't show them.
Oh yeah, sorry, I just ruined it. If you got those wrong though, you definitely need to watch the rest of our show because you need some board game help.
That's a good one.
Final question.
All right,
What is a tiebreaker?
number 5, the game of sweet revenge.
Sweet revenge.
Now this is one I totally don't think.
Okay. Maybe.
No,
that's a
that's
good
my
one.
guess.
All right.
Is there another one?
Go for it.
Yeah. Hello from Vegas. Is that Nashville or
Yes.
Las? Okay.
Okay,
John?
all right.
Any better ones?
Well, we got people from New York, Rhode Island, Vegas.
Wolfpack, I need couple
Italy.
number 5. What is the game of sweet revenge? You're on my team.
No.
Cheating.
Yeah, I know.
Our
Cheating.
presentation is.
Okay, you guys
Okay.
ready?
We're ready,
Okay,
we're ready.
Let's
All right.
ready. Let's do this.
Okay.
Okay. The first one, what was the original trivia game?
Trivial Pursuit.
That is correct.
With
Yes.
We also said
We also
Check
said-
All
for
right.
the wolf
We're
pack.
gonna need a tiebreaker, I feel like.
All right, number 2, the game of global domination.
Risk.
Yes.
We also had Risk.
Okay.
All right, number 3, the game that ties you up in knots.
Twister.
Twister
That's
is
what we
correct.
That one threw me because I was thinking board games. I was like,
It's a
what?
classic.
All right, the game of unspeakable fun.
Taboo.
That's what we
That's
said.
also what we said, and that is correct.
It is
All right.
correct.
Number
Awesome.
5.
Number 5, the game of sweet revenge.
Russian roulette. Oh no, I wrote sorry.
That's what we were.
That's what we
All
were on.
right.
That is correct.
Tiebreaker.
All right.
Okay.
Tiebreaker.
We should do like a Euro question.
This shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, tiebreaker.
One
In
dollar.
U.S. dollars,
Oh no.
how much did the inventor of Operation sell the game rights to Milton Bradley for in 1964?
1964.
Wow. This is like a totally random guess for me.
Is it like
So
who
are we
gets
saying closest
higher?
without going over?
No, we'll just say closest because I think this is going to be really
Closest.
difficult.
Okay, sounds good. I think that's fine. I would have probably gone a little higher.
what?
It's
Go ahead and
$1964.
Like that?
Yeah. But make sure it's a little easier.
I don't have any
All right.
idea.
Sounds good. All right.
Oh, no. There needs to be more.
More
there
zeros?
needs to be more digits.
Okay, ready?
Okay.
And what do you think? We got someone from
Done.
Minneapolis. All right.
How's that?
We have no, I,
We said.
No idea.
You guys done?
Yeah, we're
All
done.
right, 50,000.
Wow.
Okay.
We put 2,652.
Now the first guess was 200. That's why I was like, no. We need
All
at
right.
least one more.
I feel like this
Maybe two
is
more
high,
digits.
The
I
correct
know.
answer is
but $11.
$500.
500.
Whoa! 200! My original 200 was super close.
1, 2,
You were
0.
right.
Good job, Katie.
You guys win. All right, way to go.
We got, we've got people that said 2,354, $200 on the game night. You are good.
They Googled it.
Somebody said 23,541. Yeah, so $500.
Wow. That was pretty close. though.
Operation's done well.
I should have stuck with my original one. 200 and
Stick to those
$200.
guns.
While you guys talk about
I
that real
just-
quick, we're gonna head over here.
I have no idea though. It was total guess.
So for the show today, if you're just now tuning in, we are giving away these nifty player shields, a pack of 8, to somebody who participates with us in the show. So join in, have some fun. We are going to kind of rotate back and forth, and we are going to play some games here. Maybe they'll come and join us if they have time. They're going to set up some of the heavier games that we don't have time to play all morning. But we definitely want to talk about some cool stuff that we've been playing and that we've received in the mail and that we're excited about talking about. So if they're ready, I think we'll hop over to them after Sarah says one more thing about Wolf.
Yeah, so to continue the game
The
of
game
Wolf, the game of Wolf from Gray Matter Games, the next person in line would choose to play play by themselves or and against everyone else, or have someone join their pack. This is a 4 to 12 player party game that plays in about 30 to 45 minutes.
And it is a lot of fun to know your audience well and who your teammates are, because you get to those trivia questions that aren't about board games and you're like, oh, politics or sports or history. They know about that stuff. I want you on my team.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun.
Yep, mitigate
But-
some of those problems that you have in trivia games where you don't know the answers.
Take it away, Kevin.
Walls of York from Come On, formerly known as Simon. This is a sort of roll and write, but it's more of a roll and build. We will be rolling a die throughout the game, building walls in our own little village, and you want to sort of enclose certain types of landmarks in your village, and Will is actually going to get a camera and show some close-up shots here in just a minute, and we'll get some really close-up shots. But the first thing you do in an age, there's 2 ages, we actually roll these blue dice, and they actually are rolled in this little tower, little dice tower, and these numbers, or these pips, determine how many landmarks of the different kinds you need to enclose in your own little walls of York. So, how you do that, Melissa?
All right, so once we have our landmarks figured out, we are going to roll the die, and it's going to tell us what configuration we need to build our walls in.
So what you're doing is you're actually looking at the die. There's 2 different sort of graphics on here, some pips, which you don't need right away at the game. You just need to see the configuration. And this shows a wall that is basically a U shape. So we can basically do that in any shape you want, or any U shape on the board. And then you go to the next player and they roll. And let me just show you the different sides. I don't know if Will's got it here, but there's actually a 3 straight piece that you can put on your board. There's sort of like a zigzag you can put. There's like an L. There is the U shape. There's the U shape. There is just a corner piece. And then if one of these pieces, like say you don't want to place 3, you can always, instead of placing the wall pieces like this configuration, you can always just place a 1 wall piece, which is helpful. Sometimes you just need to connect it. And then basically whoever encloses their wall first can at that point, then they're going to look at the pip values from that point forward, and you're going to get that many gold pieces until the end of the round. And the end of the round is basically when everyone has finished creating their walls.
Right, and there's things like there are these Viking invaders and you don't want them in your walls, so you're going to try to build them around them to exclude the invaders, but to get the pieces that you need. There are coins on your board. The more coins that you enclose, the more coins that you'll get during scoring, and whoever has the most coins is the one who wins at the end of 2 ages. So it's really about do you take a lot of time to build your wall perfectly, or do you try to do it quickly so you can get the coins while other people are still building?
We have a question. Can you put the walls anywhere on your board? And the answer is yes, you can. You don't have to continue to connect them. You just need them all connected by the end of the age. The way you connect them or the way you enclose things is really going to determine how well you do in the round. The interesting thing for this game is you set it up so everyone's board looks exactly the same, sort of like in
Scarabia. There are several games that you're kind of doing. It's kind of like
Karuba would be another good one.
Yeah, except Karuba's because you start with
because you all start. But every game is going to be different because these are double-sided boards, and each board is just configured differently with these different churches and Vikings and wells and huts and things like that. And of course, the coins. You want to enclose the coins because that's going to give you points.
So that is Walls of York from Come On. 2 to 4 players, plays in about 30 minutes. And it's an interesting entry into the roll and write, roll and place kind of bingo type games where everyone's doing the same thing.
So, and yes, family game night, you keep playing until everyone is finished making their enclosure. So, and then you play 2 rounds, I think you said that. And at the beginning of the second round, the second age, you would re-roll these blue dice. And we didn't say this, but these dice all have different numbers. Some of them have lower numbers, some of them have higher, some of them don't even have pip values. So that could really change up the gameplay. So that's Walls of Europe from Come On. Over to you guys.
Hey, so I'm here on the couch. What are we playing next?
We are playing We Need to Talk.
Uh-oh.
This is from Smirk and Laughter Games, and we are going to have a little intervention for Will.
Oh, great.
Kevin.
Yes.
Oh, Kevin's joining us.
I'm
Kevin is
going to.
We're here and we need to talk.
There's a big problem.
There is a problem.
Wait, do you?
All right.
You have a problem.
So we have different cards that we
Just
can...
one.
Oh, I got some point tokens.
Will,
Thank you.
or Kevin, Katie, and I all start with some point tokens, and depending on the clues we give to Will, we want him to figure out what the intervention is, but we don't want to make it too awkward and obvious and just point it out.
We want it to be really
blank.
awkward, but not obvious.
Yes. All right. So first, we're going to do is we're just going to broach the subject.
Okay, round 1.
Round 1.
So I will start with we have different color or different cards with different questions.
So you all know what my problem
Yes.
is.
Yes.
Should we show the
Obviously.
camera?
I don't know. Yeah.
We'll
Should we-
let them.
yeah,
We'll let
guess,
them.
yeah,
You can guess. Okay.
Alright,
Well,
yeah.
we've already picked a card that is
All right.
his problem.
Yes.
All right.
So we have looked at it.
Yeah, I see it. All right, very good.
All right. And
Yeah.
we will begin by broaching the subject.
All right.
Who wants to broach first?
We have to talk about post office.
About the post office. Okay. Am I supposed to immediately guess?
No, you're allowed
If you
to
would
guess
like to guess,
when you
can.
want, but you'll give
But
Kevin
you'll give
points
Kevin a point.
if you
And I don't
decide
want
to
to give him
guess.
points?
Well,
I probably want to give him fewer points, right?
yeah,
do.
you do.
Okay. So, but I only get to probably guess one thing.
No, you would be able to guess one thing.
One thing.
If you take a guess, then Kevin gets a point.
If I win this on the first time, I feel bad.
Should I tell you what someone said that the problem is? Uh-oh.
Do they know me pretty well?
You're playing too many board games.
No, that could be it.
That is not the
I think
That's
my
not the
guess
problem.
is actually I have father-in-law issues.
That's
That is
weird.
not-
That's
No,
a weird
my
thing.
father-in-law's a postman.
And
Alright.
here's the
Kevin
thing
gets a
to
point.
tell us to tell you how close
how
you
far
were.
was it?
I think you were.
Yeah, definitely
cool.
cool.
Very
Okay.
cool.
Oh, that's kind of cool. It tells them how close
Yeah, how
they're-
close to
Alright,
them.
definitely.
Okay.
Your answer was way off.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. I'm glad to know that I don't have
Father-in-law,
father-in-law.
post office. I don't know how those even go together.
All right, go
Oh,
ahead.
okay, interesting.
But you didn't know that.
I did know that. All right, so we
Coincidence.
go back to Sarah, Katie?
Yes. We need to talk about the amount of shrink wrap in our house.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I want to give you 1 point? Am I overworking my wife as our fulfillment operator?
I'd say that's...
No, that's
That's
also
still
very
cold.
cold.
Still
Okay,
cold.
all right.
And I get a point for that.
Oh, no.
So my
Alright,
1
Katie.
point flips to 2.
2?
All
We
right.
start with 3 and then it will flip.
He's a
Well-
stamp licker.
We
It tastes so
need
good.
to talk about the amount of boxes you have.
Mm.
So they all seem to be in the attic. So I don't think Kickstarter attic is a thing.
Okay.
Maybe it is.
Although you haven't looked at the cards
yeah,
in this.
yeah. But I'll just go with I play too many board games. I order too many board games online. No? Still cold?
Oh, yeah.
But it's a little,
Warmer.
it's
A little warmer.
That's a little warmer.
Okay.
You should try not even thinking about maybe just going in another room and not even like going into this room. Is that okay?
Well, that was our first round.
Oh, sorry.
Second round.
You're too much information.
Too much information. Is we will make an emotional appeal.
Oh, emotional appeal.
So we're going to let you know how your behavior is making us feel.
Oh, how do I make you feel, Kevin?
I feel really nervous when you get around these things. Really nervous.
So I am a board game addict?
You've already guessed that.
Is
You're
it?
not going to count that
Okay.
because you've already
Okay,
guessed
already
it.
guessed
I appreciate that.
Something new.
All right.
Ooh, someone's close on here. It's getting close.
Okay.
No, Neo.
I just want
Neopet.
you to know I'm getting really annoyed by some of the items in our garage.
Ooh, alright.
Garage.
I have had to move them to the garage
Yeah.
because it's just overwhelming.
I don't know.
I know Neopet 84 is super close.
Okay.
I'm not a board game addict.
I
Oh.
don't live here, but just walking in and seeing everything, it just gives me anxiety.
Yeah, anxiety's good.
Looking at everything.
Family game night has the last part of your thing is like super close. Super, not the subject, but the last part of the phrase
Yes.
there is like you are on. You're
Okay.
on.
I'm terrible at this, apparently.
Did you wanna?
Yeah, I'll take a guess, but I don't know what I'm guessing. Is it like the way that I organize things is out of control? Like I don't, what's like the opposite of OCD? Am I a pack rat or a clutter guy or something like that?
Got back to cold.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That was
I feel
fine.
like that's like closer than his last guess.
Okay,
believe
fine.
it is.
All right, so now what do we do this round?
So now this round we offer a solution.
Okay, I'll be
A
curious to hear.
solution to this? Let me look at the thing
Yeah.
one more time. What's the solution to?
I've already got this. I know
You wanna
what
go
you
first,
should do.
Katie?
Okay, Katie,
I
you
do.
do it.
I know what you should
Okay, I'm
do.
gonna give you the points.
I think you should start by like maybe with a pack of gum. Just try, like pulling it out and then open it a little bit and then see how you feel.
Okay.
So confused. Did that help you? Because I don't even know what that means. I don't, maybe addiction is where I'm stumbling at. Maybe I'm not addicted to something. Maybe I compulsively open
I like that,
boxes.
Katie. That's really good.
And I should open smaller boxes. Not even close.
Oh, let me just say.
That
I
was
think
actually really
That's really
close.
close. I think a good way to help you with this is to treat them as just things.
Just things. Just things, Will.
Just things.
People. Just things. I value my possessions way too much.
Oh, he's
That is-
getting.
Whoa, that's
warm.
very, very
That's really
close.
warm.
Okay.
All right.
The final.
You
the
know-
last one of the game, right?
Maybe you could just let the boys play with some of the baseball cards.
Okay, so like I'm an uber uptight wedgie having collector of things, and I am compulsive obsessive about taking care of the stuff I've got.
I think
Yes.
you guys.
So you open anything.
You won't open packages of anything
Okay.
to keep them in mint condition for the
Gotcha.
collector's market.
That's why I was like, you
Okay,
should
that
just
makes
open
sense.
like a pack of gum.
So
Just
just
try
roll
it.
one. I don't open them.
Gum doesn't matter. You just try opening
That
them.
makes
We need to
sense.
talk from Smirk and Laughter Games. This is a 4 to 8 player game where you can take turns being the person getting the intervention. And it plays about 40 to 60 minutes depending on how long gameplay and how in depth and how long you take giving clues to each other. But this is a fun one to try and figure out. It does come with a special divider so that you don't, and the cards come in lots of separate packs so you don't accidentally look at all the cards so people have an idea of what are in some of the cards coming up. So there are some ways that you can add additional players and make the game a lot of
Yeah, a
fun.
bunch of good options. Obviously, this is probably one that plays really well with your friends that you know pretty well and that you could make up stuff. Obsessively puts whipped cream on everything. Some of these would be pretty crazy. It'd be interesting
Yeah,
to see
so
what...
Something else, there aren't any issues that are actual issues. So these are just
have a
all
lot of these
fun,
problems.
funny things.
Definitely wears clothes intended for the opposite season. That's I got that. constantly repeats what you say in a mocking voice. I never do that. Never.
All right.
Never.
Cool. So smirky laughter. Let's throw back to whatever's going on behind us.
Hey everybody, we are looking at Point Salad from AEG Games, and it is for 2 to 6 players. It plays in about 15 to 30 minutes, and it is definitely a pun because it is a point salad and you're actually making a salad with cards with different vegetables.
Yes.
This is a game where every card is double-sided. On one side you have points, the way you can score it, and the other side you have a vegetable. So depending on the way it goes into your hand or on your tableau, it will be either a vegetable for you to use for scoring, or it'll be a scoring opportunity. The interesting thing though is that if you take it as a scoring opportunity, you can later in the game flip it over to the vegetable, but you can never flip it back. So there is that decision you need to make whether you want to keep it as scoring points for this one, lettuce and carrots, or if you want to turn it into a pepper.
So on your turn, the first thing that you do is either draw 2 cards from this sort of like area here, and it could be any 2. So I could pick a pepper and a lettuce, and I put them in my own tableau. Or I could take one of these point cards at the top. The interesting thing is that say I take a pepper and a lettuce, these point cards become the different vegetables. So, and they will never become point cards ever again, because once a vegetable, always a vegetable.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you're doing is you're collecting these different sets, trying to then eventually get these different point cards to help you get points.
Right, so in my tableau right now, I am scoring for 1 point per pepper, 1 point per tomato, and then 5 points for each pair of peppers and cabbage. So I would have right now 10 points for my 2 pairs, another 2, 3, so I'd have 13 points at the moment based on what's in my tableau. And I'm going to try to get more cards that help with this and not hurt, because some of them have negative points. Like this one would give me 4 points per cabbage, that's awesome, but then -2 per pepper, so probably not a great one for me.
So if you have questions about point salad, we're going to talk about it a little bit more, but you can ask them away here and we can answer them. So the interesting thing is that we've played this a number of times, we've found strategy-wise it is helpful, and you're going to get a lot more points if you can sort of major in one type of vegetable. There's been
or 2.
Maybe 1 or 2, but like I've seen someone go after the onions or the tomatoes or the peppers or something like that, and they just get a whole bunch of that kind. And we've even seen on Twitter other people saying, I've done the onion strategy or I've done the strategy. I really think it depends on not only what kind of vegetables you can get, but what kind of point cards you're going to also get. Because if you can't get those point cards, then you can't then have that multiplying effect to get you lots of points.
Right. There's definitely some strategy in the game, especially taking certain vegetables to make sure that specific point cards go away before the next person's turn, but you don't know what it's going to reveal, and sometimes you reveal something even better for the next player. Or I've gone heavy in a certain vegetable, but the point cards never come up on my turn. So I'm a little this game isn't my favorite because I like a little bit more strategy, but it is nice that it's quick and it can play up to 6. So as long as you're not trying to play a game with like really deep strategy and thinking, as long as it's more lighthearted, I think you would probably enjoy it. But for me, I would like a little bit more control, I guess.
I think this game fits 2 main groups. It's going to be a filler. Games like, oh, what can we play in 15-20 minutes? Or it's a nice introduction to players to get someone started into like a game night. So a great like beginner game to be like, oh, we have like you can go up to 6 players. We have 5 or 6 players. We can get them around the table, get this going, then they can split off and do some of the maybe more heavier games that you might like. So yeah, so that's Point Salad from AEG. And are we ready for feelings? So we need to talk some more.
You're good, yes.
Oh, I think we want to take a break to talk to the people out there.
Sure, we can take a quick break over at the couch and talk a little bit more about our giveaway. Are we over here, Ryan? Awesome.
We are, we're live.
So we have these game shields, and Will can grab one real quick. These are currently on Kickstarter, and we're going to give a set of 8 away
I
on
think they're flexible, right?
Yeah.
It's one way.
live. And how can they win? I think that's upside down.
Is it though? I feel like if I have a tall thing,
That's right.
opposite is flexible. You can win simply by just commenting in the comments for the video. So let us play some of these games with us. Tell us what games you like. Oh wait, I just lied. The way you actually win is tell us what your favorite game is that requires a game shield. If you are a fan of Liar's Dice or some of those other types of games where you need these puppies, let us know because one of you guys will win a set of 8. So I think we've got a bunch more colors
Ready
as
to
well.
come over there next to you, Sarah?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, you can join us over here. That'd be great. I think the next game we're going to jump into is Feelings. This game is about emotional intelligence and being able to determine how other people would feel in different scenarios. There's 3 different decks of cards in the game. We've got the family one. There's one that's specifically for kids. And it asks questions that kids are going to be more familiar with. And then we've got the friends one, which is a little bit more hot topic stuff to see how your friends would.
And this is from Social Sloth?
I believe that is maybe true. Yes, that is correct.
Social Sloth, which is an imprint of Gray Fox Games, and they've done some really big games out there. So
3 to 8 players.
Okay.
We've got the board set up. Basically, each one of us is a color, and we're trying to get as many points around this board as we can. And the way we do that is on their turn.
I've not played this, so Will's gonna.
Here we go. So I get to draw a card from the deck, and I get to pick one of these 3 options to ask. Let's ask the question. Here's the question for everybody. You are told you must do volunteer work in order to get into the college.
Hold on, we got a question.
Of your choice.
Before you move on.
Before we move on, let's answer this.
What are they made out of? What are what made out of?
Oh, the shields.
The shields.
Oh.
A cotton poly fabric, probably. I'm not whatever, but it's definitely double stitched to be heavy duty.
Yeah, it's a nice shield.
It's got some snaps, so it can store totally flat, which is cool. And then you pull them all out. You can stick it in the top of your board game box, and then put it together. It feels really durable. This is not gonna fall apart anytime soon.
And I think
I don't know if you could.
Jason is right. Rising Sun is a great game with shields because Rising Sun is my favorite game of 2018. And I just played a game of Rising Sun the other day.
And he won.
Yeah, so to set up...
Sorry, we'll go back to Feelings here.
To set up this game, you have the board in the middle, and then these are all cards with
different experiences.
Different emotions. So it may have fear or amusement or compassion.
And you set out 8.
And we put 8 out.
Okay. We've each got a symbol on the back which tells you which spot they're going to go to, and I know there's a little bit of glare, unfortunately, on the camera, but today on the table we've got disgust, anger, interest, confidence, satisfaction, pride, or excitement. So here's how the game works. I read the topic. You are told you must do volunteer work in order to get into the college of your choice.
Okay.
So you have to do volunteer work. So here's what you do. You're going to pick how you feel first.
And I have these numbers. What do these numbers mean?
These numbers represent, these right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So how would you personally feel about having to put volunteer work, having to do volunteer work in order to get into the college of your choice?
Okay.
All right, then you're going to pick what you think the person to your left would feel. And if it's the same number, you've got this
so I'm
little...
going, you will?
Yeah, you've got this little matching card thing that says, I think you feel the same way I would feel. So how do I think Sarah would feel about having to do volunteer work in order to get into college? I'm going to go with this. So you put it next to them.
All right, here you go.
Your card. You gave Kevin his. All right, so then we just reveal. I feel excitement over getting to do volunteer work in order to get into college. That seems like an easy
feel
one.
interest.
I also feel interest.
All right.
I don't think any of us got any points.
No,
maybe Sarah did.
I thought you were going to feel satisfied.
Satisfied? I almost felt satisfied.
You thought
I thought you would feel satisfaction.
satisfied.
6. I don't know what that is. I need for it to be a 6. There's no 9, so it's a 6.
And what is this?
That is...
She meant you would feel the same way as her. She gets a point. So she moves 1 around the chart.
Ah, very nice.
The color token is green, I guess.
All right, so we get our cards back?
Yep, you take your number cards back.
All right, let's try one more round.
Yeah, so this time...
We got to move the game along because we got more games to talk about.
I know, there's so many.
Any other questions?
Sarah, what's our next question?
100% cotton, by the way.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, here's an interesting one.
And technically, we could swap these all out each round.
Right. All right.
Your brother ate all the strawberries in the garden.
What?
And now he has a stomachache.
All right.
This reveals some stuff about
Your brother.
Oh man.
These are...
Should we go the other direction this time, too?
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay, hold on. Not ready yet.
man.
I don't know how Kevin feels about his brother eating all the strawberries.
All
I
right.
definitely know it will.
Do you feel like this? I don't know.
All right.
You have to give Sarah her feelings.
There you go.
All right. I feel.
Do you feel?
Satisfied?
Oh yeah, no.
Sorry.
I feel this number. I feel like he gets what he deserves.
Okay.
That's also what I
That helps you though.
I felt embarrassed for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
did you? Sarah thought that I would
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah.
Knowing you
Kevin
and your brother.
said, yeah, he gets what he deserves.
I think I said the same thing. I would feel embarrassed, but
And I think I said, embarrassed, rock on! That's something, turkey that action. All right, so I get a point. Did anyone else get a point that round?
I did.
Oh, very good. So then you'd go around the game, you could pick a number of rounds. Basically,
Cool.
they say everybody should get 2 turns. The interesting thing about this game is you do kind of have to know your audience, otherwise it's a wild guess. The downside to this game is that I don't feel like there's a catch the leader. We've played it before where like our youngest, who's the least emotionally intelligent, is stuck back here because he can't guess what other people want.
Okay.
And then the whole point of the game is like developing your emotional thing. But then like when he cries at the end because he lost, I was like,
oh,
no,
well, he's
So,
definitely.
Well, but
he
was
is 6, and this is recommended for 8 and up. So I think if you play, you probably want to play with 8 and up. But it's a very beautiful game. It's a different type of experience. I think it will work great in like a classroom setting or
Yeah.
somewhere where you're trying to help people actually grasp these types of things. So pretty cool game. We've had some fun with it. And like we said, there's tons more emotional experiences. That might have been one of the things too. If you play with younger kids, don't put in words like anxiety that they don't understand and things like, resignation. Like some of them are just, you don't play with kids. And then, like I said, yeah, totally different deck. So if you wanted to play and talk about politics and see how everyone feels
interesting.
about whatever, then
Oh.
pull out the hot deck.
Oh, man.
And
Ooh,
you could
the hot
have,
deck.
this could definitely be, more of an adult party.
I think the ladies are ready.
You guys ready back there? Take it away.
We are. So we are going to be taking a quick look at Dice Summoners. It is a player versus player game. The whole idea is that you are these wizards and you are summoning these monsters and you are trying to get followers. And as you do this, you've got these different monsters. You've got like easy monsters. You can bump it up to like these medium level monsters, and then you've got like these mythical monsters that are much harder to get out. But the monsters will do things for you, like they will allow you to attack the other player for hit points here, and you will also, they might allow you to heal, so you might be gaining some, you'll be wanting to really look at the strategy that you're trying to do with these monsters. You'll be wanting to maybe balance attack with some healing so that you're not, totally attacking and then, you're dead pretty soon. They also do things like stealing, which is one of those that is going to attack their health, but if they have any shields, it won't do anything. But if you're able to attack their health directly, you can actually steal their life from them and add it to your own. So that's kind of a unique thing. But so you'll be doing this. Your monsters will actually, these mythical beasts will actually be giving you dice each round, and I'll show you what colored dice you'll be gaining for that round. You can only cast or use monsters based on the dice roll that you get. So let's say I've got these 3 out. I use 3 blue dice. I roll them, and then I have to see what the dice show me, and that's the combination of things that I can do on my turn. And there is 1 wild. I just happened to roll a wild, so that one gives me a little extra flexibility. But it'll go back and forth. This is just a 2-player game, so it'll be like me versus Melissa. We'll go back and forth, seeing what we can do with our dice, trying to summon the best monsters and spells so that we can take each other out. It is really going to be one of those games you really have to fill out how that other player's doing their strategy in an attempt to try to get your strategy to overcome theirs, try to compensate for what they're doing to you. There is a lot of that take that feeling because of it being that player versus player. There's curses you can put on the other player that limits their ability for rolling dice or using dice or placing the dice out. So you have to really be watching for that. Some of the more powerful monsters will give you the red dice, which have pretty much the same symbols. There's some more unique things that you can do with these. But that is pretty much Dice Summoners. It's kind of the last man standing sort of thing. So if you're ready to duke it out with a fellow player, maybe you should check out Dice Summoners.
And so that's why Ryan and Katie have this game instead of Kevin and me, because we don't like, well, I don't like high conflict, take that player versus player game, so that seemed appropriate. I haven't actually played it, but these dice are pretty cool. They're nice and chunky.
They
and
are
they
nice
have
chunky dice.
really nice engraved symbols on them, so they feel pretty cool. But yeah, I'm glad this one went to you all instead of
yeah, this
us
is much
based
more
on taste.
Yeah, this is much more up mine and Ryan's alley, especially with like the mythical monsters and all of just the fun lore that's in here. Some of the interesting things that are in here are they have what I would think are definitely angel characters, along with regular mythical beasts. They have dinosaurs, which is another interesting thing. This also has a variable setup. The one that we have shown here is with the suggested setup that is proven to be balanced. Gives you a variety of everything, but they also have 4 other suggested setups. They have tons of extra monsters and spells and different things that you can play with, and so it's kind of like any other like a deck building game where you might have tons of different cards and then you put out just the few you're going to play with for that game. So the game will feel very different depending on which decks you're actually playing with.
Cool. I think we're ready to go back to the couch.
Yeah, let's do it.
Are we on the couch? All right. So Sarah's setting up Before There Were Stars here from Smirk and Laughter. Smirk and Laughter, but before, she's still setting up. I wanted to talk about some of the games, so Melissa needs to come over here too. We've been playing some of these games that are next to me. Can you see some of these games?
Come sit.
Come sit with me, Katie. So I believe some of us have played the One Key. This is it's like sort of, it's a co-op game where if you've played Mysterium, there's this ghost in Mysterium. You're trying to get people to guess certain like clues and have them guess the right pictures. Well, this one's like a stripped down version. And Melissa's over there. All right, so I'll just keep talking. But there's these really interesting pictures in this game that sort of like if you played Dixit or things like that, they're just crazy.
Oh, but they're like cutouts.
Yeah, they're cutouts of these different things.
That's really kind of neat.
So at the beginning of the game, the clue giver is randomly picking one of these pictures, and then throughout the game, the people guessing are basically looking at all the other ones. Not all. There's like 12 that are out on the board, and they're trying to get closer to what is similar between that and these. So it could even be like this could be the actual One Key, and this could be like a clue because don't they look similar in shape?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
I could see that.
Oh, I never look at shape. I look at content.
Right.
This is why Kevin and I
That's right.
usually are not in the same
Not in the same frame of
I'm
mind.
trying to think like, well, there's.
I've played these
So
type of
Kevin,
games
are we
with
planning to do
Will
a
and
video
Tara.
for this game?
We
at some
are
point?
going to
So-
do a video of this one, so you can check out One Key and you can see how it is played. But this is fun if you like Mysterium, you're going to like One Key. We just played Grim Masquerade this morning.
Yes.
Sarah, talk about like 30 seconds.
So this is a nice family game, although it does have advanced modes to make it a lot more difficult. It is a deduction game without so much of the social talking. So it's a great game to introduce families to deduction. And everyone is a character at the Beast's Ball, and you are trying to give them items that will reveal who they are, and you're trying to keep yourself from being revealed at the ball.
Wait a minute, so you don't know
Who you are?
You know who you
Oh,
are.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know who you are.
You know who you are, but you're trying to reveal everyone else.
Oh.
I
Stay
believe,
hidden.
and some people are asking about which ones are for sale or not. This one should be available maybe end of summer.
Yes.
Grim Masquerade.
It was for sale at Origins, and
But they only had
probably
a
will
few-
be at Gen Con.
Right, but they only had a few copies
Right.
available, so I don't want people to get their hopes up. I
And
know
we just did a playthrough of this, correct?
did.
So
Yeah.
that will be on our channel shortly.
the One Key is available. Point Salad, I believe, it might be out of stock, but it's definitely available. And then Felix is definitely available. Wolf is available, so you can go to your local store or online and get those. How many have played Heil? Anybody? This is a polyomino, so Tetris-like game where you are placing these tiles in your what they call street on your street board, and you can actually see the different shapes and things like that. They look like Tetris pieces, and you are trying to match colors together and even like connect the lines because that just like in Tetris. So
It's a fun
little
illustration.
And
on the
Kevin's
front.
gonna have a review video of
Yep,
that.
that's
Video.
from Pandasaurus Games.
All of these we're doing videos of.
Yeah, all
that's why
these-
we're being very, very quick.
That's nice, Melissa. Yes, definitely. Space Base has been a really popular game this past year. We just opened up Shy Pluto, and this one is sort of like a, would you say, Melissa, like a legacy, sort of like not maybe like a
Like a campaign.
Sure, like a campaign.
You're unlocking the different.
So they actually have like
modules.
mystery boxes in there.
Oh, fun!
So-
I'm just looking at this like brain on the top of this little
Yeah.
planet or asteroid.
Look, keep it still so we can look at it. The command station is coming out later this year, and this is an expansion box so you can hold everything in it. You know how AEG does it with like Smash Up? They have this
Yes.
like big box. Same idea. You can place everything in. It does add a couple things. It widens the player count to more players. There's a couple little modules added as well, and sleeves that people are just leaving their cards because the
it
cards.
includes sleeves.
Yeah, in the box. The cards themselves are really thin and they're very different, so the sleeves are specially made for Space Base.
And player dice for each player, so you don't have to keep
That's true.
passing the die around
Yeah.
and going, oh, can you give me the dice so I can take my turn?
And we're almost ready for there. One more.
One more.
One more. One more. Woo! So this is out, and you can buy this. This is the Lord of the Rings: Journeys to Middle Earth. Melissa and I are on 2 different campaigns right now. We've probably played 18 games of this,
Oh wow!
and this is one of
Have
my
you
favorite.
finished either?
We're almost
game?
done one of the campaigns. This is a 1 to 5 player co-op adventure, sort of like in the vein of Mansions of Madness if you played that. And although in Mansions of Madness it's not campaign, where this is a campaign.
And there's no dice.
It's all card driven, so we will be getting a video of that once we finish our first campaign. We're working on, we're going to complete it and do a full review of Lord of the Rings: Journeys to Middle Earth, one of my favorite games this year. So,
That's from Fantasy Flight.
thanks, Sarah. All right, Before There Were Stars.
All right, so this is Before There Were Stars, and this is a creative storytelling game. It is a game that is very much based on cooperation. It's competitive, but it's all about being nice, listening to each other's game, and awarding stars based on how good you thought portions of their story was, or how creative, or a moment that was good. So it's not about the overall story necessarily, but it's about the connectivity that you have with the story. So they like to point out that it doesn't matter if you're not a good
I
storyteller.
am not a good storyteller.
So Kevin, so it's not. It doesn't matter.
But
They
these
were
stars
saying
are cool.
Yes, they have these really neat little star tokens. This is what you're going to be scoring other players with. And in case you have anxiety about people knowing what you've given them for a score, you actually have a colored bag. So I'll get the green bag, Kevin will get a purple, you'll get the orange
Okay.
bag. And then after everybody's told a portion of their story, you'll pass your bag around and everybody will secretly give you a star based on how they connected with your story.
Okay.
And the stars are worth different amounts of points. The blue stars are worth 2, the yellows are worth 3, and the orange stars are worth 4.
How do we get those cards up there?
We are going to, you have to, each of us will get
Okay.
these stars to a lot, but
Okay.
what we're going to do is roll the dice. There
wow.
should be a second set of dice.
That's okay.
Yes, there is.
Oh, there it is.
Can you pull that out?
So you roll these special little star dice.
They are
I
star
don't,
dice.
I don't know. Can you see this, Will? Almost.
Almost.
It's got these fun little stars on the dice, and it actually, this is
Keep your
very
hand there.
themed very well.
Just keep your hand there because Brian's
Okay.
got it. Oh, we're back. Never mind.
Are we there?
We're back on us.
Okay.
Anyway.
So anyway, you roll these dice, and
Alright.
you can only choose a card based on if you have the correct dice
Why
for
would
this.
I was gonna say, would you ever not roll something that would fit one of this?
Well, there's a possibility.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay, so we'll choose 2 cards first. So
Okay,
I'll
Katie.
go first.
Go for it, Katie.
And maybe I want my thing to start with the fox. So I would need a 3
And a
and a
6. Okay.
So there's my 3 and 6.
Okay.
And
And then you get to pick again?
no, then you get to choose since you rolled the other ones.
Okay.
And then Sarah will get to roll and look at which ones she wants.
So I
to
can't take the merchant because I only have a 6 and a 2. I would need a second 2. I can't
use. Right. So you can't take
okay.
that one.
All right. Do I have a 5 and a 6? I'll do something about the lion.
Okay.
6, 5, and a 1. All right.
All right. So Kevin gets the lion.
All right. And then we continue this. We probably don't have time to go through more of this. So basically, we do this.
Katie's
So
gonna
we do
pick
this,
another one.
and then what we'll do is we'll get 2. This was just the first chapter of our story.
We get 2 cards.
We'll get 2
We'll let
cards.
Katie pick another
Let's pick
card.
one more.
I'm
We'll
gonna
let
go
you
with
do
the
a story.
kiss.
All right.
No, we'll let Katie
Well,
do
let's
it.
do a
All
story,
right.
and then we'll have to move to another game.
All right. So you are instructed to start it with, in the beginning,
Okay.
there was a fox.
Okay.
So I'm using my fox card.
Okay.
And he was very lonely.
Okay.
He did not have anybody that he could call a companion, but one day a beautiful lady fox came along and he kissed her using my other card.
Okay.
And that would be like the start of my story.
All right.
And so then they would base how many stars they would give me on how well they thought I used the elements of my story or what they thought was interesting, that kind of thing.
All right.
I was a little rushed.
No, that's okay.
I could have come up with something better.
That's okay.
maybe.
Thanks, Katie.
So that is before there were stars.
Yep.
I'm gonna run over to Melissa. You guys can finish up talking about that.
Okay.
All right, this is a 3 to 6 player game from Smirk and Laughter. And it plays in about 40 to 60 minutes. It does recommend if you have people who like to give very long, detailed stories that you use a timer to keep their stories succinct.
Yes. So it's like you have roughly a minute to tell your story. If it is longer than that, they say don't interrupt a good story just for the timer. But if you're trying to keep it moving along, it's a suggestion. So. But it's a very beautiful game.
yes,
It's got
very
some
beautiful.
really neat elements like the star chips here, the little bags that you pass around, so you're gathering little stars that you count at the end of the game, and that sort of thing. So if this
Yep.
sounds interesting, check out Before There Were Stars.
Yep, and this is available to purchase now from Smirk and Laughter.
All right, are we ready over
We are ready.
the other table?
Hey, before we start about this, we have a couple people talking about space, and dice, and someone said they had already divvied up and got other dice for their space, which is cool. So, the interesting things about the dice in the new space command station are they are cool looking. They're like the stars. And
Yeah,
like,
they're kind of flecked inside with like shiny stuff.
And Dean, you're liking Lord of the Rings Journeys. Good. Someone said I thought that they played and finished it. So I'm looking forward to finishing ours as well. So what do we have here, Melissa?
We are looking at Curios from AEG. This is for 2 to 5 players, and it's another shortish game. It plays about 15-20 minutes, and it has some hidden information, a little bit of set collection, and push your luck.
This will not be available until I think September.
Oh, wow.
Just letting you know.
Okay.
So, but you can look forward to this. It might be at some cons, but I don't think it's going to be in retail until September.
Okay.
So just letting you know ahead of time. We can give you a little brief overview of this, but you can't buy it yet.
So we have 4 different regions. We have the Forbidden Temple, the Great Pyramid, the Ancient Colosseum, and the Lost Shipwreck. I can read upside down. And they each have a color of artifact gem
That sort of
associated
correspond
with
it?
them.
Okay.
And we're going to be trying to collect these gems. The problem is that we don't know the value of each gem.
Would
At
you-
the beginning of the game,
All right.
we've put aside 1 card of each color, matching it, and that's going to be the value. We have been dealt to us some cards,
All right.
so we know a little bit of information. So
Or a
the
lot.
gems could either be worth 1 point,
3
3 points, 5 points, or 7 points.
Okay.
If you have the card in your hand, the card is not by the
Right, 'cause-
artifact,
yeah.
so it's not that point value.
All right.
So what do you do on your turn, Kevin?
So on your turn, you have to go on the far left column, and I'm going to place one. Since I'm the first player, I have the little lantern first player marker. I get to place there, and I get to take a gem.
And we have a fake third player there, the purple one.
So the purple would take a turn, then Melissa would take a turn.
So if I want to go in the same place as Kevin, I need to go to the next column, and this one takes 2 pawns, and then I would collect the gem.
And then it goes to me again, and I don't have to stay there. I could go to a different place, and I'm going to take a gem. And then that person would go, and then Melissa would go. We'll just finish one quick round.
All right.
And then we'll show what happens at the end of the round.
You should actually place the purple one.
I'll place the purple ones. He's going to take purple, and I guess they would have gone up here and taken a red, and back to me. I'm going to take 2 green, or 2, and I'm going to take another green, and then the purple can go here and take purple.
And I only have 2 pawns left, so I
only have
cannot
1.
go to any spaces anymore.
So then basically that's the end of the round.
We do majority.
Oh, that's true. So purple gets a purple.
Whoever has
Purple gets a red, pink gets a yellow, and I get a green because we have majority scoring. And then we go around and we can say, do we want another worker for future rounds? If we want another worker, we have to reveal some information. So let me see here. I will reveal that I have the purple 5. And if I do that, I get this for the next round. And then this person can do it, then Melissa can do it. Then we continue that for another round. How many rounds do we play?
I believe there are
We can double check.
3, but we will double check that. So once we've played the designated number of rounds, we will, I think it's 3 because you can get 1 pawn each round. We will flip over the cards and see what the value of the gems that we have collected are. And depending on the player count, you'll have more or less cards in your hand. You may even have a stack of cards in the middle that no one knows the information about. Why don't we flip these over and see?
So until 2 or more treasure sites.
Okay.
It could go a lot of rounds, but it's basically 2 or more treasure sites run out of artifacts.
And you put a certain number of these out depending on player
That's
count.
how the game ends.
Yes.
But the interesting thing about this game is that secret information. Because I'll show you my hand. I actually knew at the beginning of the game that purple card was a purple 3 because I had the 1, 5, and 7. And Melissa?
So I know that green is not either end of the spectrum. So it's at least 3 or 5.
And I didn't know anything about green. And I knew that red was 7. So I never went after red or purple because I knew where the 7s were. So I decided to go after yellow and green. And yellow was a 7, which would have been helpful for Melissa and I. And then green was a 3, so that was not helpful for me. So red wasn't. This actually was faulty information for me.
Because you thought it would be low.
I thought it would be low because I had the red 7, but it was actually the red 5, which is good. So yeah, interesting card play with that pressure luck. Should I go after 1? Or should I reveal my hand throughout the game? So.
Yeah, and are you trying to get majorities to beat someone out? Do you just go in like 2 colors and hope they're great, or do you spread it out? So there's a little bit of even mind games you can play with other people. If I know, I don't think this is a good one, maybe I'll at least put 1 pawn there so it doesn't look like I'm completely avoiding that place.
Yeah.
Because I want other people to take that stuff so they get low points for their gems.
So this box is interesting. It's 10.
Oh, it is? Yep.
So check out Curios coming in a couple months from AEG. Don't forget about Point Salad. And AEG's got some stuff coming out. I know that they have another Smash Up game. So AEG's pumping out some games.
Yeah, and some of these games might be in their big game night box.
Yes.
You'll have to look and see if I don't know if they publish what's actually in that box or not.
For Gen Con? Very cool. Are we back over there? All right, go to the couch.
Hey, so we have pretty much finished up all the games that we're going to show you in this video, but we're going to be doing a wrap up and giving away these
Game shields?
Game shields that we've got here.
Very
So
cool.
from Coyote Games,
Who's
check out
looking
their
at that?
Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody needs to look
Well,
at
live
we need,
now.
we need let's see, let me count how many.
I'm glad
pulled a
Sarah sat
Larry.
there.
Let's see. I'm gonna, while you guys keep talking, I'm gonna count the number of people who talked about the game shield.
Okay, sounds
All
good.
right, go.
What are we talking about? Talking about how you can see me in the background of every shot. Let us know what you guys think about this format in general. We've been trying to go a little bit more casual, a little bit more real. We enjoy the polished look, like we work hard for that, but Sometimes you just have to look at my back as I'm holding a camera.
So yeah, is anyone else actually looking at comments to talk to people? I don't have a phone with me.
Yeah.
Oops.
Tell us
Okay.
comments and count at the same time.
I'm doing it.
I have a phone.
I meant
I was
to
thinking in
interact right
general,
now
as
while
people
you're
were
doing that.
talking back to us. It'll take me a half hour to pull it up on my phone. But what of all of these games?
I know people really enjoyed talking to you about your problem.
Did they?
Yes.
We need more on the couch action. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Need to talk. We need to talk. Is a pretty cool one. It's a lot. It's really clever. We should do. Are we gonna do a playthrough of One Key? That's an interesting one. That.
Oh yeah, Kevin and Melissa said they're gonna do a video for it.
I am.
So it
Review or,
will either be a review or a playthrough.
Yeah.
What would you like to see? Would you like which version?
And could we
of-
do a live play along? We've done some of those. Like, could we get the audience to say, like, get rid of the red one or whatever? I think that would maybe work for that type of
It
game.
is timed, so the
You have to type fast.
delay would be interesting.
Maybe we could
as they,
find a longer timer. We'll just
oh, well, it's an app.
Oh.
Okay.
we'll cheat it
It's
somehow.
3
We'll
minutes
slow it
though,
down
so
in real
3
time.
minutes is.
3 minutes, we can work
You
for
have
that.
time to get in your comments and help us out on that. I have not played Space Base, and I'm definitely looking forward to throwing it around on the table.
So it's kind of like a Machikuro up a next step.
I like
'cause
that.
You roll and everyone gets to benefit potentially based on which cards they have.
No,
Yeah, very
that's
cool.
neat. I really like that mechanic. I think it's interesting because you're always trying to choose. If I do this, it's going to help me, but it may help him twice as much as it's helping me right now.
Oh, and I don't think I got angry enough. I was supposed to flip this table at some point during the show. Whoa! The outburst table, such as those cute little guys. It's got the logo on it. I don't even know if you can see it in there, but I think their Kickstarter is either on live right now or going live really soon, and you can get some custom tables to throw around with, so you can exasperate your rage without actually flipping the whole table. So.
Yeah, you could have flipped this when we were talking about your
I should've.
inability to open things.
Exactly. I'll show you how angry
You
I
have a
am.
10-sided die?
Do we have one?
We
I
do,
think
right
I just
over
saw
on the
one.
table
Hold on.
by Ryan.
Okay.
Pile of dice.
We have 7 comments, so 1 through 7.
Excited?
Awesome.
10-sided. Here we
All
go.
right, here we go.
So if it lands on 8 or
Just
10,
re-
just,
I
re-
do.
just re-roll.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It's a
70.
7.
7.
It's a 7.
Number 7.
Number 7.
Is dun, dun, dun. Go back. It was the last. It was the last
Scroll,
one.
Scrolling.
He's looking.
Dun, dun, dun.
You know who it is. You're
Okay,
already
it was
there.
a Game of Thrones. Also comes to mind, but I haven't played a lot lately. So
Take that.
It's
Who's our
the,
winner name, username?
Giovanni from.
Giovanni. Hey, thanks for hi to you at the beginning.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging around. Thanks for
Hey.
commenting. Congratulations.
Very
so
cool.
be sure to send an email to sarah@tantrumhouse.com.
SARA
Ooh, good point.
at
true.
tantrumhouse.com.
And
And
then
I'll
give us
make
your
sure-
address, contact info.
And I'll send you the player shields.
Well,
Congrats.
actually, we're not.
Are there-
No, they're coming from the
Oh,
company.
they're coming from the company.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
We
Are there
will
any
send you. We
comments
still
that
need your
you
address.
need to,
Yeah,
respond
people.
to
Yeah, I
or-
can tell you that people said that this format's really cool. Shows some new games. They like the casual format. It's nice on a lazy Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks for the encouragement about this format. It was fun going back and forth.
It was.
It's like
A
our
little
little
chaotic, but good.
A little.
a little morning show. We need probably 3 more people with cameras because Will was jumping back and forth.
Yes.
But
Next time we'll set up like the love seat. We'll buy a love seat and a couch so we can like game show or I don't know, morning showing.
Morning show.
I lost
Yeah.
my coffee.
We'll
Somewhere I had
reserve
coffee in here. I was
This is
gonna
true.
get that.
I think Sarah was scared we were going to
I
spill
was
it.
scared
Yeah.
we were just going to
I would have. This was fun. I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you, Ryan, for running the show. We
No.
miss you, Ben, but we like Ryan too. So
Ryan, can you come and say hi real quick?
Ryan,
No.
jump in. Say hi to all your fans.
It's a lazy Saturday morning. It's also Ryan's birthday. So happy birthday, Ryan!
How did I
Yeah.
get that? I'm a terrible friend.
I know. Well,
All right, you guys sing
he's
happy birthday
expecting
to
his
him
gift later.
yourself, as you should. Bravo to Farron for not crying
Yes.
through this whole thing.
Yeah.
Props
Thank
to
you
my
for-
kids for babysitting.
Yeah, no kidding.
Thank you guys. All right.
I think we're gonna roll it out. Thanks so much for joining us.
Bye.